matter how big a fan you are of an actor or a filmmaker, as a true fan, you always wish and expect that the next film will be better than their previous work that we have seen before, that made us their fans essentially. And you hope that they evolve with time in terms of the choices that they make and the storytelling as well. When Dunki was announced, we as fans were most excited about this project for sure, more than Jawan and Pathan. And I know you will agree with me, and if you will say that you were not excited with Dunki as much as you were with the previous two SRK releases, I think you'd be lying to yourself, not me. And the way Pathan and Jawan performed at the box office, marking an incredible comeback for SRK after 4 years, and the fact that Rajkumar Hirani was also coming back after 5 years, the hype for Dunki went so much further up due to the success and momentum that Shahrukh Khan had this year. And a part of me somewhere was still a little worried that Jawan, which came merely 3 months before Dunki, it's still afresh in our minds, right? And it didn't really probably give us enough buffer period between the two releases as Pathan had with Jawan, within 8 months of gap. So I just hope that I was hoping against the hope probably that we don't feel fatigued with an SRK overdose, so to speak. And cut to today, I went for first day first show with absolute highest of hopes and expectations, which any SRK or Hirani fan will have, because we have been so waiting for that SRK classic, because everybody is now tired of quoting Swades and Chak De as those timeless Shahrukh Khan films when it comes to quoting the classic examples, and we really hope that Dunki becomes one of them. And it's not just because of Shahrukh Khan and Rajkumar Hirani pairing up. It's also because of Hirani's individual success rate and his command over entertainment and emotion. So it was a huge assurance for me and for everybody, I think. And I knew that personally I will not settle for anything less than brilliant. So by the way, I was kind of underwhelmed by the trailer, but then when has any Hirani film's trailer ever been good? I wasn't too stoked about the music as well, maybe apart from Lut Put Gaya. But again, Hirani's track record with music in his films is maybe, mediocre at best. And all this still didn't affect me a single bit, and I was ready to let all that go as long as, we get to have that classic SRK film that we have been waiting for. And all that excitement, that anticipation, the expectation, unfortunately started to take a nosedive as we went deep into the film. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, you expect your favorite artists to evolve with time, and it just felt like Rajkumar Hirani probably hasn't been able to catch up with the kind of cinema or OTT that we have been consuming for the last 5 years or so. So take its humor, for example, the humor in Dunki. A couple of sequences are funny, I'm not gonna deny that, don't get me wrong, but a lot of jokes just fell flat and seemed unfunny. And it might have worked 15 to 20 years ago when he was making the Munna Bhai series and Three Idiots, and because we also lived in a very different era, and even us as audience hadn't evolved as much at that time. So at the time we found this kind of humor entertaining. But now, look where cinema has come. Look at the kind of things that we are consuming. I mean, you expect better from a profound director like Rajkumar Hirani, and you expect that, he would also evolve with time, evolve with cinema. And we know for a fact that Hirani movies are not just about humor. So it's not just that. The biggest value lies in its core emotion, any film that he makes, and that's what you connect the most with, and you care for the characters that he writes, like Munna or Ranchhod Das or PK in the past. Unfortunately, apart from Sukhi to an extent, I just didn't feel that connection for Hardy or, for Mannu or anybody, because the chemistry between the lead pair itself is missing. It itself lacked depth, and the pairing felt like a misfit, especially with the forced Punjabi accent. The supporting cast still did a better job at the Punjabi diction than them, but and I was kind of still fine until the interval block where they come up with the term Dunki and they explain what it is, and now you're finally the film, it feels like the film has come to the main point, and now the second half, hoping against the hope, is going to be better than the first half, and it'll make up for all that was lacking in the first half. But unfortunately, second half disappoints you even more than first half. It turns Dunki into this dull dud, then a home run like other Hirani films, and by the time you come to the climax, it just, that aftertaste, that it's just not what you were used to with the Hirani film. A good film is when you don't realize where all the time went, but in this one, especially at 2 hour 40-minute run time, all I did in the second half was waiting for the film to get over, and just checking my phone in between and blah blah blah. Dunki has to be Rajkumar Hirani's weakest film in 20 years. I mean, I was more entertained in Sanju, to be honest, than this one. See, the core emotions has substance in it. I mean, I absolutely get what he's trying to tell, because the subject is so sensitive and it has that substance in it, but it just lacked depth. It doesn't have enough depth, and it deals at a very surface level. That that cinematic brilliance that we often associate Hirani films with, that was nowhere to find here, unfortunately. And performance-wise speaking, Vicky Kaushal's cameo. If I tell you that a small cameo by Vicky Kaushal is the best thing in this film performance-wise, then you can imagine how average the main cast might be. Shahrukh is not bad at all. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's not at his best as well. I mean, out of the 3 films, you would have expected at the beginning of this year that, Dunki might be that acting masterclass, but it unfortunately isn't. Tapsee Pannu is such a great actor. She has proved it so many times in recent past, in so many films, and here she, I thought, really underperformed than her potential. Other couple of supporting actors, Grover and Kochar, they were really impressive individually, but as I said, the film failed to bond with me as an audience because the bond between the ensemble cast, those characters, wasn't strong or convincing enough for me to care about them or root for them. So that was my Dunki experience. That was my spoiler-free review for all of you. It's I would still want you to go ahead and watch the film and form your own opinion. This was just my opinion. I could be having a different opinion than what you might have, but so probably the last review on the channel for the year, and I expect it to be in a more happier state than this, but because our expectations with this film, with the combo of the director and actor, was so high, the benchmark was so right up there, that it didn't meet those expectations. But thank you for watching the video. If you came here until the end, subscribe to the channel, comment below what you felt about Dunki, and thank you for your time.